the chief Republican on the House Small Business Committee, and his name is Luetkemeyer. He's from Missouri. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Carrie. Good to be with you. And I am a chocolate cake fan as well. That's some good news this morning.
Well, let's combine small businesses with chocolate cake, and how about we go patronize some small businesses, get some cake. So, Congressman, you are there on top of you're working with the Democrat who's the head. You're the chief Republican on the Small Business Committee, and you wrote an op-ed for Fox Business where you said that the closing of small businesses is just blatantly unfair. You said the fact that we allow thousands of people to walk into Walmart, but we shut down a 6-table restaurant. It's just not sound health policy, and fining small businesses for refusing to die quietly is not a tough but necessary decision. You called them veiled attempts by the Democrats to appear responsible without having to tangle with corporations that wield powerful connections and high-priced legal teams. So those are some fighting words you have for your Democratic colleagues. Did you get any reaction? Is this going to push them in a direction to open things?
Well, I'm hopeful. I think we got some good reaction, I think, from some of the major mayors around the country and governors. I think you saw that it looks like California and Illinois and Michigan and Washington, D.C. are opening back up. I'm not sure it was my op-ed that did that, but I think they're being pushed by their citizens and by their small business people, who are basically saying the same thing I said in my op-ed about they're being strangled to death and unfairly targeted because of the way that these cities and states are being managed by their elected officials compared to other businesses within the state. As I said in the op-ed, and what you just read, you're looking at different businesses like Walmart and Target. Some of them have eating establishments inside their business, and yet the small little mom and pop little restaurant or donut shop on the corner is closed because of the arbitrary decision by the leaders to do this. I think. Well,
Congressman, first of all, I have to say you might be the first politician I've ever spoken to who wasn't trying to take credit something when you were very humble about your op-ed there. But I got to ask, though, because why are these decisions being made? Why can Walmart be open, but a small operation, a small business, a mom and pop shop, why? What's the rationale?
Well, I think, the obvious should be the answer should be obvious, Carrie, from the standpoint that Walmart is a big conglomerate. They can go to Washington and they can bang on people's desks and people will listen. Where you have, John and Jane's little donut shop on the corner, it's like, who are you? That's why small businesses get the short end of the stick here. And I think, it's very unfortunate. And this is why our committee is so important, because we need to be the voice for those individuals that own these small businesses and quite frankly, small business drives our economy. Almost 70% of the new jobs are created by small business. Almost half the jobs are still in small business. They're tremendous economic drivers. These people, the entrepreneurs, the risk takers who drive our economy, develop new products and services. And we need those folks to make our economy whole and to drive it. And it's counterintuitive to believe that we can survive without these people. I really am frustrated by the leadership in some of these states and cities. But that's our job on the committee.
Sure. So what are you guys doing? What specifically are you doing to help small businesses? Because I'm seeing huge packages like the $1.9 trillion from the Biden administration, and he wants to hike minimum wage to $15 an hour. And a lot of people say that would close and that would shutter a lot of small businesses because they can't afford $15 an hour. So what's the path forward for your committee, especially if the Democrats are running it?
Well, I think, if you look at what we did during the Trump administration and had the economy growing at an almost astronomical rate with almost 1.2 million more jobs who had employees before the pandemic hit, we need to be able to get back to that. And we can do that if we leave things in place like tax reform, the tax cuts that we had. You deregulate. You don't overburden small businesses with regulation. You continue to help them have access to capital. And then our committee, need to provide oversight to make that happen. And I'm fearful with the new administration, and you can see with some of the executive orders coming out of the White House, that they're starting to think about rolling back some of these things. They want to go back to higher taxes. They want more regulation. They're trying to, and again, intimidate these small businesses with some of these these nonsensical rules, in my opinion. And I think our job on the committee is to provide that oversight, to push back on it, point out whenever they're wrong. Obviously, we're in the minority, so it's going to be a little more difficult to have the bully pulpit of be able to push back on some of this stuff. But we need to be able to do that. And that's why being here with you this morning is so important, to get the word out that we're going to continue to push and push hard for our small businesses, our entrepreneurs, to make sure they can continue to be the drivers of our economy.
And what are you guys doing? Because a lot of, like what you said, is happening either the mayors or the governors. What kind of leverage does Congress have? Because you guys are there in Washington, but a lot of these decisions are happening out in the states.
Well, number one is the PPP program is very, very helpful. We need to continue to fund that and operate that. We need to provide the oversight over it. But, there still is some things that we can do with regards to, I know when the pandemic hit, the Federal Reserve opened up, I think it was 13 different facilities to be able to underpin and provide liquidity for the various markets out there, whether it was the capital markets or whether it was the municipal markets, where your state and local governments were able to get their bond ratings, continue to keep them up, and be able to have places for them to go to purchase as well as sell their municipal bonds. So it was very important for us to keep the liquidity in not only the capital area, but also in the state and local government area, and continue to prop them up. So there's things we can do to help the states be able to continue to to be productive and keep their economies going. But the things that I'm fearful, the things that are happening with administration.
All right, Congressman, we appreciate it. It's Congressman Luetkemeyer from the House Small Business Commission.